Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ready to Roll, Embers Beneath the Mountains, Episode 6. We are running a little bit behind, so we're just going to hop into it. Adam, do you want to give us the recap of what happened last time?
Of course. Last time on Ready to Roll, the party decided to go investigate the rumors of the Witch of the Woods. After fighting some spiders and undead in the ruins of an ancient fort, they discovered the Witch of the Woods was actually a powerful Fey Lord named Maeve. After some haggling and negotiating, the party arranged a deal in which they would be able to create a path through the fog by bringing her 3 reagents: fruit from Silhana's trees, bones of the ritual casters, and Aetherium, which could be found in a nearby abandoned dwarven mine. While spending the night at Maeve's cabin, Corvette and Anya had a heart-to-heart. After arriving at Silhana's tree, Pyotr attempted to get some of the fruit, but was judged unworthy due to a murder he had committed. Artyom was able to get the fruit by right of his blood, and this is where we return to Ready to Roll.
Awesome. So yeah, that's where we're going to pick up. You literally probably, Artyom has just walked back and with the fruit in hand.
I don't want to carry it. So I'm going to put the fruit in my pocket. Just kind of stand there and be like, so, where to next? Mines? Probably closest.
Sounds good to me.
Sure.
Yeah. There's a couple places for the bones, because we have to figure that out. But let's go to the mines. We know where that is. We know where the Aetherium should be.
Does anybody know what Aetherium even looks like? I want to look over at the dwarf, kind of like pointedly.
Don't be racist. Not all dwarves know what that looks like.
The dwarf that camera is sitting so still that I think his computer crashed.
I think it's purple. Should be purple.
Frozen dwarf.
If anyone else wants to attempt to find out what Aetherium is, they can give me a nature check.
Sure. Wait, what's my nature?
I can't imagine that I know.
Let's roll for it. Let's see.
Drith got a 17.
Yeah, no, I got a 9.
Yeah, Mike just messaged me and said, you all froze for me.
Likewise, Michael.
Did we all freeze for him, or did he freeze for all of us?
I mean, he froze for all of us, and we all froze for him, so.
Lost us.
We'll just wait a second while he hops out and hops back in.
So I'm assuming Drith's.
Anyway, who rolled nature?
I got a 9. I don't know. I'm sure.
9.
I got a 17.
17.
What are we rolling?
Well, they're trying to figure out. Artyom asked what Aetherium is, and so anyone who wants to know, anyone who has wants to know what Aetherium, or wants to see if they recall what Aetherium is rolling a nature check. You, with your dwarven stone cutting, will have advantage on this check.
Sweet.
I'll wait to see what your roll is before I give the description, so I don't have to give it more than once.
Not my sheet, sorry.
You're good.
When I got booted out of the call, it closed down my other windows too.
That's nice.
How rude.
Mm-hmm. Yay, old tech. Up here too. There it goes.
Oh. You learn something new every day, Camera Vogel.
You said I have advantage, right?
Yes.
Good, because my first roll was a 2. Okay, 17.
Okay, so Drith and Kadiak, you both know Aetherium is a mysterious. It's a metal that has a golden appearance. It's very rare and very charged with magic, ancient, powerful magic. It's theorized that Aetherium is the foundation of the universe, in metallic form. However, in these days and this days and age, the Aetherium that is found in mines and stuff is generally not, as powerful as ancient Aetherium. And so, but yeah, it's a golden metal, very powerful, very magical, very volatile.
So it's not purple.
Not purple. Piotr is welcome to think it's purple, but it is not.
In what is that game? Borderlands. It's purple. Okay.
Pretty sure it's a different name in Borderlands.
There's no way
Anyway.
at the beginning.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we know what we're looking for,
Where do we
off
go
to-
to find it?
The dwarven mine.
who had the
Me.
map?
I have the map. The map. The map.
It's
Um.
the map. It's the map.
Yeah.
Well, so the mine is north of Maeve's little hut, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So do we just go back to her, then go up?
That's what you could do. If you wanted to be extremely inefficient about this whole process, yes, that's what you could do.
Go across the water, I guess. Go across the lake.
Well, I mean, you could go across the lake. The point I'm trying to make is it might be more beneficial to go grab the bone first and then come back and go to the mines. The mine's closer to Maeve.
Yeah.
But, and those who are curious, the mine is up here.
That was,
Whoa,
that was cool.
fancy.
You're welcome.
This makes me think of that like Metal Gear Solid
Yep. All right. So what is the bones then, though? Let's figure that out. Because it's either, is it just go back to the corpses that we found the incantation with?
I would assume so.
Yeah, I mean, ritual caster bones sounds a little on the nose to me.
Well, the only other thought I had was the place we woke up, and bodies, skeleton bones, were in that cavern too. So, with some altar. But
That's a
Yes,
good-
but the rituals found. How close are we to where we woke up?
You're about equidistance between where you woke up and the chapel. So,
In opposite directions, of course, right?
yeah.
split the
Split
party.
up.
No.
Piotr, no splitting up? Bad experiences?
Yeah, it's never good when in a strange land to separate from your comrades.
Fair. Fair point.
Jungle people will get you. Or whatever's
Jungle.
in these woods. I don't know. It depends where you're at.
Jungle.
What is a jungle?
I think he's talking about me.
No, Drift, you're harmless. In a good way.
You're one of the good ones.
Thanks.
You're one of the... Anywho, I guess we start with the best knowledge we have is the purple robe people who had the incantation first, right? Where we found it in the chapel.
Yeah.
So
That would be the better. Let me say it in character. We found the spell in the chapel with bones surrounding it. I would guess that that would be the bones that she needs.
Fair
That
enough.
would be my assumption as well.
To the chapel then?
I think
Back
we
to the
should
chapel.
go to the
I say
mine.
so. If she needs more bones, we know where more bones are, so.
Looking,
Sorry, what was that?
I said we should. I think we should go to the mines, personally, and then go to the bones. The mines pose the greatest threat, whereas, as far as we're aware, the villagers still have no interest in going into the church.
Well, that is the thing. They have seen us leave it now, so they know that it is survivable. Maybe they assume, maybe they go in. I also have a bit of fear that someone will go and take the bones because they are mobile, whereas I feel like this metal from this mine is probably not going to disappear if we go there second.
So we
I
go.
agree with Anya.
We go pick up the bones. We take the bones and the fruit to the witch, and then we go to the mines.
Drop them off. Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
Pass through.
Because
Want mine?
the third coffin guy could go back for his fellow's bones. We don't know where his corpse is.
Very true. This is fact.
Right. All right,
Yeah,
then.
I agree with
Especially
Anya, let's
since-
go bone.
I think we are in agreement. We're
All right.
in an okayment.
Okay. All right.
Sally boy.
So you head back down this little peninsula on the island, and make your way down, back up around. So at this point, it's getting, starting to get later in the day. Cross the bridge, walk into town, and you head towards the chapel. As you're walking through town, you see people are kind of gathered outside. As you walk into town, you have to pass right past the Yakovlev manor. That, if you remember helping those people a few weeks ago, and you see a bunch of people are gathered outside the manor. And do you want
A few since we've helped them.
It's been like a day.
Okay, there. That makes them.
Yeah, it's been like a day.
Wait a sec. Okay. Why are there a bunch of people out front? What does it look like they're doing?
What are they?
Does it seem like it's a mob or a
No.
wake or?
Yeah, probably more along the lines of a wake.
Oh. Should
Oh,
we
no.
check in?
Did the old man die?
Maybe.
For the girl?
Likely.
I vote we investigate.
Sally Fall?
All right. So you approach, and as you approach, you begin to hear people say, "It's about time." He's getting old. And people see you and recognize you, and they're like, "Oh, you outsiders, Matave. He wanted to talk to you." And so they kind of open up a path and make a way into the manor for you.
Okay.
The
we've been
brother,
expected.
The son. The brother of the
Yeah, the son,
girl,
yeah.
the son of the old man, yeah. So you walk in, and sure enough, there is, it looks like people are getting prepared for a funeral. They're kind of this procession walking past a coffin. You see this, Matvey and his wife are sitting, Matvey's looking stoic as usual. The wife is crying. His wife is crying. And he looks at you as you enter, and he says, Artyom, I was hoping that I'd see you.
I'm gonna bow really low and say, "I'm sorry for your loss."
It's all right. It was about time. My father was an old man. He was probably, it was appropriate. The one thing that's unfortunate is that we can't bury him, and we can't. So we don't have anyone. We don't have a priest anymore. We didn't have anyone to perform his last rites. But now that you're here, I was hoping that maybe you would be able to do that for him before we took him up to the graveyard.
I can do that. I'm gonna turn and look at Corvette, and I would say, Corvette, I would appreciate your help.
You have it. Just tell me what you need.
I'm gonna pull out our book of Silhana, and I'm gonna walk forward. I'm guessing that there's this, the casket in front of me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna pull out some candles, and I'm gonna hand Corvid my symbol of Silhana and say, it's really simple. You just stand here with this. I'll take care of everything else. And I'm gonna light the candles and say a prayer. And the prayer, the beginning of the prayer, it's going to be just very basic stuff. The generic Silhana will watch over you and your family and guide you through to the afterlife, and commentary about his life and his family. And then I'm going to stand up and add a personal touch. I'm going to lay my hand on the casket, and I'm going to cast ceremony, which is I'm going to use the funeral rite section of it, which is I'm going to open up the casket and place my hand on his chest, and it says, you touch one corpse, and for the next 7 days, the target can't become undead by any means short of a wish spell. And I'm going to say, you are free now, old man Yakovlev. Find your wife. Find your daughter. Have peace in the next life. And his corpse is going to glow very subtly and softly, and then it's going to fade. And his face appears to take on a smile, and I will carefully close the casket. And I'm going to turn to Corvette. I want to bow to him and take my symbol back, put it back over my, put it back on my neck, and I'll walk over to the family, and I'll present each, the Matvey and his wife, with a candle that they'll be expected to carry up to his grave, and then leave on top of it as a symbol of Silhana's light.
Matvey takes the candle and, thank you, he says. It's been a long time since I think anyone in this village has felt a semblance of hope. But for the first time in a long time, 3 years almost, I feel like we have a chance to, overcome whatever this fog is, and that Silhana's light will touch our lives again.
I'm going to place my hand on his shoulder and give him a smile and say, that's what we do. Silhana brings hope. And so if I can bring just a little bit to those who have suffered, then I'm able to fulfill my obligation as a priest. Don't worry. We're working on it.
All right. Cool. So unless there's anything else that anyone wants to do, that is pretty much all that was happening there. You're not expected to go up to the graveyard with them. You do see the dwarf gravekeeper, William, He is there, kind of waiting to do his job. But other than that, there's nothing else to be said or done in this place.
Will
Oh, go ahead.
Kayak will mutter a soft prayer in his own language, off to the side for the old man as well. Basically, just I don't think any of you speak nor saying, but if anyone else in the village does, they would hear him saying basically, "Be at rest and may your spirit fly."
And
I'm
then
gonna walk up behind Kadiak and put my hand on his short shoulder and say, "I don't know what you said, but I appreciate it."
I would say the same for you.
All right.
All right then. We have our business. Let's do it so we can get this town out of here.
All right. So you head towards the chapel. You approach it. You open the front door, no problem. And you actually kind of get a feeling that the chapel is, how to describe it? It's not as dark in the chapel as it used to be. It's not. There's the sense of foreboding and the sense of evil that was in the chapel is kind of dissipated. You're not sure whether that's because you're just used to it now, since the entire valley is filled with this sense of evil and foreboding, or if it's maybe something has changed in the town or something. But you feel better about the chapel as a whole. It doesn't take you very, nothing's really changed since you were here. There are a few places that you did not look, like you didn't go upstairs at all in the chapel last time. If maybe you want to go explore there, or you can just go straight for the bones and get on your way out.
Say let's get the bones first and then look around, but
Yeah,
I'd rather go get that first.
but do we want to be looking around the bones while we're looking around?
How big of a bone do we need? Do we need like a whole femur or just like a pinky bone?
Or
Is that
everyone.
enough?
All of the bones.
The skeleton.
Skeleton. Better not be that.
I feel like just get
I don't
like a
think maybe
handful of
specified,
like
did you?
hand bones. Something you can stick in a pocket. It's not very obvious. I will get them if no one wants.
And we lost her.
I was like, was that me or
Rip.
is she back? I just heard somebody.
Yeah, she hopped back in.
Discord crash. Sorry.
No, you're good. It was just like you're in the middle of a sentence and you're gone.
I was offering to like grab a whole bunch of like hand bones. If nobody wants to carry them, like, RTM doesn't want to carry the pair, I will carry the bones.
Did Maeve,
Cool, no objections. I will go do that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
objections.
Maeve did not specify how many bones or what type of bones, and
Just-
we lost Brayden.
just bones?
Uh-oh, just rolling internet outages. Who's
It's
next?
unfortunate. Stretching from Pennsylvania to Utah.
That is.
I don't know.
Was I the only one that
Yep.
that happened to?
That was the only one you had. You were the only one that happened. Well, I mean, Lydia just a few seconds earlier, but anyway, cool. So Jelania heads downstairs to grab the bones. Maeve did not specify, so I guess Jelania, you're gonna just grab.
Yeah, there's one like finger and toe bones, like a whole bunch of little ones that I can keep in a pocket and I don't have to like actively hold.
Okay, sounds good. Perfect. All right. Anything else you want to do in the chapel, or are you all?
Can we
Good.
go upstairs? We never like laid eyes on the third guy. I want to see if he's here.
Yes. Let's
Do you
look
still have the
upstairs.
temple map?
Check upstairs.
Do I still have the temple map? Yeah.
Can you pull that up?
Sure.
Adiok is actually going to grab some of the.
Okay, I'm gonna grab some of the what?
Y'all, the internet hates us
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah, it's
What
not
the
like
heck?
us.
And mine has like been giving me the finger all week, and so far I don't think I've
Yep.
had issues tonight.
Well, since he's disappeared, I'm gonna walk up to the altar and I'm gonna take the pear out and I'm gonna put it on the altar and then I'm gonna kneel down and I'm gonna pray and I'm gonna be like, "Hey, come and get me before we're about to leave."
Okay. Will do.
Okay.
Okay. Well, was there anything else you needed the map for, Adam?
No, but I figured it'd be nice for us to have.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Okay, so your guy. So who all is going upstairs?
Corvette.
Piotr is curious.
Piotr, Corvette. Okay.
I'll go.
Drith. Okay. Are you gonna join them, Anya?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Hold on. Need to do this. That is not working the way I want it to. Give me a second. All right. So, anyway,
Who just
Sorry.
got yeeted?
no one got yeeted.
Oh, that was your stream.
That was my. I mean, it just went dark.
Mike's computer also caught up to the fact that it crashed.
Yeah. So anyway, cool. That's what the level above looks like. Nothing overly exciting, so we won't spend much time on it. However,
Ooh.
on the top floor, that's where you see this body. It's dressed in priestly robes, regular priest robes, not purple priest robes.
Are you able to pull it up a little bit on stream? It's on the bottom of the
Yeah.
I mean, that's where
square.
it was on my screen too. So let me just I'll move that. And I know that's Artyom's thing, but I'm just using it so that way you guys can see what's there. The people are up there. So you go up, and you so yeah, you see the body, and next to the body is a letter that I'm trying to find where I put the letter. Where did I put that? Sorry. Where is it? Oh, that's where it is. Anyway, cool. So, all right. Is there anyone who wants to grab the letter or investigate the body or anything? This is as high up as it goes, by the way.
I will. Go ahead,
Alright.
Piotr.
Yeah, I'll grab the letter.
Okay.
I'll investigate the body while he's doing that.
Okay. So, Mike messaged me what Kadiak's gonna do. He is okay. Kadiak is grabbing some skull fragments and ribs as well. So that'll Kadiak do. All right, so this is the letter. It says, to whoever finds this, I am too late. The cult of Morpheus has once again found its way into these sacred lands. I was a fool to trust Prestov Novak. He sacrificed them, used them in so profane ritual to bring a curse on this land. Even as I speak, a strange fog stretches out from this very chapel. If you find this letter, please find a way to break this spell. I beg of you. And once you've done that, take my holy symbol to my son. His name is Alev Menov. You'll find him in Ostrava. Let him know that I was thinking of him. And in the corpse's hand, you do find a silver symbol of Silhana tarnished with age.
Okay.
Oh wait. So Corvette found that, right?
No, you found it.
The symbol.
You're
the one. You were the one reading, so you found it.
Okay. I'm gonna hand that off to Artyom.
Artyom is downstairs.
Well, I'm gonna give it to him later.
What was the city that it was that the sun's in?
Ostrava, the capital. That you all recognize. Yeah, that's the capital city.
Capital city. And it was Alev
Menov. ALEV space MENOV.
Clears out your sinuses.
Well, it looks like we've got another fetch quest, boys. And Anya.
Because that wasn't metagamey at all.
More a delivery quest.
No, it's not metagaming because Piotr definitely gave fetch quests to other people all the time.
That's fair.
He was a quest giver.
It's true. All right.
That's in his lexicon.
All right. Well, anything else that you want to do in the chapel before you all head out?
No. Did I investigated, just searched his body.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
I mean,
Uh,
nothing overly
that's just-
exciting. Just
Okay.
old moth-eaten priestly robes. And that silver symbol that Piotr's going to give to Artyom later.
And very noticeably, no third body in purple robes.
Nope. How many bodies were in the basement again?
3.
Just 2. Well, yeah, because there was the
It's
2 in
the
the purple
2
robes,
purple.
and then there was the fake priest.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So that was the fake priest body down there.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, in that case, I believe we do have the bones of the person we need.
All right.
Sounds like it.
Okay. So you
Go
all...
down and go over to Artyom as you head down and just tap his shoulder.
I'm gonna finish up praying, stand up, and pick the fruit back up. Excuse me. And tuck it back into my my little pouch on my belt and kind of look around and hold my hands out. Feels a little better.
What feels better, friend?
The church.
Well, we found something upstairs. And I hand him the holy symbol.
I'm gonna feel it in my hands and ask, "Where did you get this?"
From a coffin upstairs, a dead guy.
The priest's body was upstairs.
What do you want me to do with it?
Well, I figured I think there was a note on it that asked us to bring this to his son. Checking with the DM because I can't remember
Yes, that is
details
correct.
from a thing I read 10 minutes ago. So I think that's what we should do. But since you're the priestly type, I figured you might as well hang on to it until we get there.
I'm gonna look up at Piotr, and I'm gonna hang it around his neck.
Uh-oh.
You might need this.
Hey, it's not burning. Okay.
Does that usually happen with anything holy that you come into contact with?
No, but given recent events, I don't. Anything is possible. I think.
Recent events were pretty interesting. Pretty eye-opening a little bit.
No offense, up to you.
I knew it wasn't gonna burn you. I've seen worse sinners than you wear such a thing.
Do you know my sins?
Murder's pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, that's complicated. I'll explain later.
I'm gonna reach out and pat him on the head. It's okay. We'll have time to talk about it.
Yes.
I'm
yes, we
rather
will.
I'm gonna start on my way out of the chapel.
All right.
Give a shrug and follow Artyom.
And I'm gonna pause at the doors, and I'm gonna place my hands on both of them before I throw them open, and I'm gonna cast light. That way they start glowing. And then I'm just gonna throw the doors open and march out.
All right. Well, the town is at this point making their way up to the graveyard, so no one saw that. But
That's okay. The doors stay glowing for a while.
but yeah, all right.
Artyom, that was so cool.
How long does? Oh, light. You cast light, right? So it'll be there
Yeah.
an hour. Okay.
They'll be back.
We'll see if they're back in time in an hour. Anyway, all right. So you guys make your way out of the chapel, out of the town.
It's like Aragorn coming through Helm's Deep with glowing doors now.
So
That was epic.
that was pretty good.
Off to the mines of Moria now.
So are you going to stop at Maeve's first and drop that stuff off? Or are you going to just head straight to the mines?
We should stop there, drop the stuff off, take a little rest. It's probably gonna take us into the evening to get over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
We want to spend the night at the strange witch's house again?
She didn't eat us last time.
He's got a point.
So it's a plus. Hopefully again.
I just wonder if it's a waste of time to wander through the misty forest again.
Don't we,
don't
have the
to
magic
wander.
stick?
Drith has a magic stick, a second magic stick now.
Yeah,
And
Drith,
can guide us.
Drith does have the magic
Right,
stick.
I've
That
been
doesn't.
working on this new flute.
It's destroyed. It's just carved to pieces.
Awesome. So, Drith, will
Yeah,
you
so I
take
can
us
lead
back?
everyone. My magic stick.
Awesome.
You got it.
All right.
Perfect.
So you make your way through the forest again, through the ruins, not being harassed by spiders or undead that you see.
Rip.
You make your way into the purple fog, and eventually you find yourself back at Maeve's Maeve's house.
While we're walking, is it okay if I just kind of scooch over to Artyom and I just kind of quietly ask, you seem uncomfortable holding on to this holy fruit? I would have thought that you would be very comfortable with these sorts of things, being a man of the cloth.
I'm not very comfortable doing any priestly duties, to be honest with you. It never
I'm
grows
used-
any easier. It only gets harder. And now that
You
I am
seem to
carrying,
do fine in the funeral.
it's one of the, as terrible as it sounds, that's one of the easier ones, as you're able to provide peace and hope for a family. But now I'm carrying an embodiment of Silhana's essence. If I had my choice, I'd just go back to my chapel in the capital city and remain there, do the priestly rites, and but now I'm here and I'm carrying this fruit, and I'm with all of you, and I don't know how I got here. And he's gonna kind of choke up a little bit and get real quiet and just kind of shake his head. And I don't know, Anya. Here we are, and here this is, and but I guess it's my responsibility now.
I mean, this is how we all feel, I think. We all got taken from where we were, and now apparently there is something expected of us, which none of us asked for. I definitely did not ask for it either. So,
But you and Kadiak are warriors, and Corvid is an Asamar, a chosen of the of the Silhana and of the light. And Piotr has spent his life in the noble courts, and Drith is just happy about everything. But here I am, a normal priest who woke up one morning. He went from preparing for the next day's rites and continuing my education to here. And then I find out that I can't even remove the curse of Morpheus. All I could do is break a hole in it. Kind of dampens your spirits. Sure, we can offer them a small way out, but what if Maeve doesn't let us tell the village about her escape route? What if we have to keep that a secret? And we leave, and the village no longer has us around. I'm sorry this is a lot, but you kind of asked at a time when I'm in a talkative mood.
yeah, apparently. I mean, I don't have answers. Oh, and that is something that I almost never have. So don't be surprised by that. The only thing that we can do is just keep moving.
I give you a wry smile and say, yeah, even when you communicate with angels and goddesses, normally they do a lot of ignoring you. And you find their answers after the fact. I'm going to give a heavy sigh and give her a smile and say, but at least we can make a hole, right? Get a few people out. And we're almost there. I almost don't have to carry this fruit anymore.
Do you want me to hold it until we get there?
I'm going to shake my head. I don't think so. I feel like I was given it for a reason. And as such, it's my burden to bear. I didn't know that such a small thing could be so stressful.
Hmm.
But I appreciate your offer.
Everything apparently happened for a reason. Oh, joy.
No, not everything. There are definitely things that just happen.
Oh, yeah, like what?
Well, chalking everything up to some form of act of divinity generally will just drive someone crazy. If every bad thing is caused by Morpheus and everything good thing is caused by Silhana, eventually you start to cross the two. Why didn't Silhana keep this from happening? Why did Morpheus allow that to happen? Why did this good thing manage to slip by him? Why did, one family able to have all of these children when they're drunks and crazy people, when these noble and honorable people are not? They've been trying for years and there's nothing the priests can do to help them. Those kind of things. Sometimes things just happen. As much as we'd like to blame or give credit to the gods and the goddesses for doing things for us, and while they probably could, they don't always have a hand in everything. Sometimes they just let us be. That's why we were made. And when we can help others, then we're given that opportunity. But it's also on us to do those good things, whether it's the will of whoever you follow or not. You don't strike me as the profoundly religious type.
Would give that away.
I'm just gonna gesture.
You just gestured to all of me.
Great movie.
You are very right in that. I know a lot. I don't believe in much. If I did, it would make me more upset.
And that is why you can't chalk everything up to divine intervention. Sometimes,
Oh, I mean, you can. You can chalk everything up to a divine intervention, but that doesn't mean anything about liking a god or following a god. It just makes you realize, wow, they kind of all are the worst. They kind of play with us like little girls play with dolls. Like, oh, look at the cute outfit that this one has. Look, I'm gonna go make these ones go to be in a war. How fun.
I'm gonna look at you and then just kind of laugh a little bit. Look at the cute outfit this one has. Really? Anya,
I'm not the one who walks around in robes all day, so.
Anya, I suspect some terrible things have happened to you. But you can look. You are here. You're among people who are friends. And we didn't die in that cave. We have some purpose to play, some role to play in stopping this curse over here, which we know is from Morpheus, the literal devil dragon. So, at the very least, I can attest that Silhana kept you alive for this purpose for now, and she prepared you through the trials and challenges that you have faced to be the strong, powerful warrior I know you to be, and to be part of the conscience of this group. I know you may not believe that. I know you may think that I'm just a crazy religious man, but I can feel it in my heart that you've been put here with us for, and yes, I know, for a reason. There's that phrase that you hate again. But I don't think all of you would be ready for this if it weren't for the terrible things that happened. Because now you are strong and powerful and really scary with 2 swords. And between all of us, I think that we can not only just break a hole in this fog, but eventually vanish Morpheus out of this valley, at least for a little while.
You have a lot of faith, and you want good things.
I mean, the thing with faith is it's like laughter and tears. You can either laugh or you can cry. You can have faith or you cannot.
I don't know if that works every time. You know, someone come up and they kill your brother. It's not really a fun time to start to laugh. You know,
It's true.
sometimes you have to pick one.
Crying is sometimes better than laughing.
Anyway, this discussion of theology is more than my terrible demonic brain can handle for today. You are strange men to talk to.
I think your brain is less terrible and demonic than you think it is. Don't let the way you look change the way you think.
You are a nice man. I walk just like a little bit further away as we keep traveling.
Okay. All right. Before anyone else does anything, I need to hop out and hop back in and see
Hey,
if that makes
Piotr.
Mike's camera appear. Give me just a second. Okay. Cool. Looks like we're just gonna have to live with no mic camera. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Drith.
Okay. Hey, Piotr.
Yes.
You've both killed someone, you've murdered someone, and you're good at music, right?
I actually want to be like, I was going to be by Drift to ask him a question, so I will say, like, Corbett is near these.
Okay.
two.
All
I'm
right.
with you in the conversation.
Murder equals music talent. Got it. Write that one down.
Well,
What are you asking?
I don't need to murder someone to be a good. Do I?
No. Let's just say I haven't improved much in my musical ability since the incident in question.
Okay.
Yuck
And
is
Drith writes down
not
murder
paying attention,
instance
by the way.
equals poor musicianship.
So, good to know. I want to hear more about that. But Drith, I've been having a question that's like, why am I a promiscuous duck? Like, noble duck, brave duck. And like, yeah, like why promiscuous duck? And then like, what is everyone else? What do you think everyone else is?
Well, I'm still working on everyone else, but just something about the way you walk reminds me of a gander in Heat.
A Drake?
Okay, that's a first for me.
He would know.
I'm just thinking of that meme. Dang boy, he's thick.
What about Piotr at least, since he's here with us? You know, what does Piotr remind you of?
Murder hornet.
Now, is that in reference to the murder or the fact that we're gonna be really concerned
reminds
for a sec
me
and then
of-
forget?
It's like he reminds me of a fawn who has just learned to walk. There's some kind of grace and beauty about it, but you know there might be something sinister underneath, which is why they need to be eaten.
All right, I guess you would have more experience with nature and wildlife than probably any of us, most of us. Kadiak might be able to match you on that. But
when he hears his name, he's gonna start paying attention.
Kadiak, how well do you know wildlife?
Probably the best out of our party, I would say.
Even though Drith can turn into wildlife?
Mimicking the appearance of wildlife is much different than living among them.
You gonna take that line down, Drith?
No, it's okay. I like to let him live in being wrong sometimes. I'm trying
didn't
to
even
learn
know
when
how
to
to hit.
speak and when it's offensive, you know?
Literally
don't see
didn't
what
know
it
how
has
to
to do
swing a
with knowing-
stick.
What? Well, to be fair,
A
you're the one who
dog.
says you like wildlife,
A dog can swing a stick.
and you're the one that smacked a tree. And to be fair, that tree did smack back, and I've at least learned that.
Got some great going back and forth at it.
Yeah.
Well, that's a plant, not wildlife. It's different.
I mean, a stick is a dead plant.
The point isn't the stick. The point was that any animal can swing a stick, but Drith couldn't.
Can any animal swing a
Well,
stick?
to be fair,
Could it
I didn't have a very
promiscuous
good
duck?
teacher.
This promiscuous duck can, for sure. And I pull out Eladin and his spear. Swing this pretty well.
This conversation is happening at the same time that Artyom and I are
Corvette,
having like
can
deep
you just
theological
whack from you a few
discussion.
times?
No, sorry. I don't know if I have the right dialect or anything.
But Katiok, you must surely know that when a duck wants to mate, it looks exactly like Corvette.
I would say no. Ducks aren't blue.
Thank you.
Cadillacs also probably not seen a duck from how far north he's from.
It's true though. He's assuming that duck is a Mordevian word for
I think
some
I figured
bird.
out the problem. I'm from a different continent. I think the wildlife just may be different.
That's probably what it is. Yes.
Maybe the animals around here just aren't as horny.
Can a deer with a really large pair of antlers just walk by at that point? They seem to have rather large horns here. I don't know if I want to go visit your continent.
Or you have to come by. My mom makes a really good
And
soup like me.
he's completely
What is it?
deadpan face as he says that and look Drith straight in the eye. Like, he obviously knows what Drith was trying to say, but Kadak is just gonna play. He just misspoke completely.
I mean that maybe they just want to mate less here, is what I'm trying to say. Do they not have this expression around here? And I look around at like Piotr and Artyom.
I'm off having a theological discussion with Solania at this
No,
point.
we're talking about
Help
destiny
me.
and free agency.
So Piotr, do they have this? Do they have? Is this a thing? Does this expression exist on this side of the world?
One more time. What was the phrase? Make sure I heard it correctly.
All right.
I was trying to say, do you know what, if I said, Piotr, I am horny, do you know what I'm trying to convey to you?
You guys know that my mom watches this, right?
I think also this has been canonically confirmed as being true because there was a horny joke made about Jelania in like episode 2.
Yup.
So yes,
That's right.
canonically part
Canonically
of
it
Morgmere
exists.
vernacular.
Okay, so we're gonna move right along. Back on track. So this conversation continues in whatever form it continues in. You eventually arrive at the cabin. When you arrive at the cabin, lights are off. You enter inside and you see a note, and the note says, "I'm out gathering." Basically says you just say that Maeve is out gathering the rest of her ingredients that she needs to get for the ritual, and that you are welcome to. That she tells you where to deposit. That she says just deposit the ingredients you've gathered in the cauldron, and then you are welcome to spend the night here if you so desire.
What time is it?
It's getting pretty late because you've been walking back and forth across you went down, so it's probably getting towards evening time.
Cool.
So do you want to take your long rest, or are you
Yeah,
good?
that'd be beautiful.
Okay. All right.
Sure. We'll chill at Maeve's for the night.
Okay. All right. So you take your long rest, and awaken the next morning, ready and raring to go northward towards the mine. Sorry, lost my brain there for a second. So you go north along the lake, and eventually you find yourself at the entrance to. You see the clearly ancient dwarven fashion. Long ago, that the dwarves. It's pretty common history. Dwarves used to live in the mountains. However, for some reason now they don't. Dwarves generally found in cities, towns, anywhere but the mountains, with a few minor exceptions. But so you see these, you see the entrance to the mine is this carved archway, and it has dwarven runes carved at the top. As anyone else other than Kadiak read dwarven?
Nope.
Don't think so. Double checking.
Nope.
Blah 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 blah.
Nope.
I don't. Oh, I do.
Okay. So Kadiak
Piotr.
and Piotr can read that it says the mines of Cardenok is what it says. The mines of Cardenok is how it would translate into common. And so that's what you know as you gaze upon the entrance. We're actually going to
History check to see if I know anything.
go for it. Make a history check.
Ting.
I'm sorry, what was that? You cut out at the very
1-8.
1-8. Okay. You know that Cardenak was a ancient dwarven city. However, due to the fact that records of the ancient dwarven empire no longer very sparse and no longer exist, as most of dwarven history and culture was destroyed by whatever cataclysmic event destroyed the empire. You don't really know much more than that, other than it was it was considered to be the at least what modern scholars believe it was considered to be the center of the Aetherium trade for the Dwarven Empire. So with that, we're going to actually take a quick break before we dive into the next section. Kind because at this point there probably won't be a good point to take a break. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Thanks for sticking around, and we'll be back in a bit. Okay. We're live again, team. So yes, you see, you're standing outside the archway to the mines of Cardanock. Where are we going?
Cadillac is going to tell everyone what he knows about Cardanock.
Okay, so you all now know that Cardanock was considered the Aetherium trading hub of the ancient Dwarven Empire.
Okay.
So there's a lot.
So yeah, this means this should be easy to find, right?
At one point, there was a lot, yes.
Don't like that
Alright.
qualifier.
Okay.
You
My
better-
people lived in the mountains. Do you know how many generations ago that was?
No.
No.
Really don't.
I'm not a dwarf last time I checked.
Derek's gonna roll his eyes and mutter something about Mordvirans and not caring about ancestors.
All right.
All right.
Um.
I mean, not your ancestors.
So I'm
that's-
assuming mine looks dark.
That would be correct. The mine looks dark. The human in your party would probably appreciate some light.
Humans.
No, you're no longer a human. You're a murderer.
Well, I mean, Artyom's blind, so
You're not a human. You're nothing but a murderer.
Exactly. Yeah, he doesn't
Wait, am
need
I
any.
the only human other than the blind one?
Yeah, you and me.
Yes.
Oh. Look at me.
All right. I touch. Let's see. What do I want to? Do you want
Drith's
torches
stick.
or just a stick? Hey, Drith, pull out. We're gonna make it magic for an hour.
Oh no. Wait, magic or on fire?
I feel like if Drith has a
Wait,
hat,
what do you mean?
has light on his hat.
What do you mean? Make it magic?
Excuse me, it is magic.
It's already. And
Is there a stick lying
I hope I have
around?
food for him.
well,
Are
I
there
mean,
branches, trees nearby?
yeah, of
can
course,
grab
there are
one.
branches, trees nearby.
And then I just cast light on it. And look, we got a makeshift torch. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, so you walk inside the mine.
Yes.
Fuck
Cadillac's
that.
in front.
You have a question? Did I hear someone say I have a question?
The Cadillac is in front.
I heard that, but I did hear that, but I thought I heard someone else say they have a question.
I don't.
Okay, well, no questions then. Okay, so Cadillac's in front. Anyone else gonna be up front?
Not I.
Sure. Sure.
Jelania.
Ooh, map.
Anyone else have a preference on the marching order, or does that look fine to you? What's on the map?
That's fine.
Can't-
Real quick,
It looks fine to me.
Drith is gonna task without trace on everybody.
Yep,
Ooh.
very fancy.
What does that do? Whatever advantage on stealth rolls?
It's plus 10 to
Plus 10 to
yourself.
stealth rolls, and you don't leave like traces.
Which is honestly sometimes better than advantage.
Yeah.
Quite often
10 is
better.
a big buff.
Yeah, it's one of the very few spells in the game that gives you a buff to a skill, instead of advantage. so that's huge. All right.
So with that, I'm assuming we're gonna be stealthy. Probably just want to be careful.
So you enter in to the mine. The center, the central area. You see tracks. That's the first thing you notice. Once you can see, you see tracks, and That's, if you see tracks headed north, that's as far as you can see. Tracks headed to the west, that's as far as you can see that direction.
So I won't lie, when you said tracks, I was like, oh, tracks in the dust. And then went, wait, train or railway cart tracks.
Minecart tracks. Yeah, minecart tracks. Yep.
Yeah, minecart.
Choo-choos.
Are there any spiders in those giant webs? that I see?
You do not see any spiders. Unless you want to give me a
Nice.
perception check. I'm just
Sure,
kidding.
I'll roll a perception check. Oh, okay.
All right, guys, we just need some redstone torches, and then we can power the Minecraft and just ride them all the way down. We just need to check our Y levels, see how deep we need to go.
So what is your what did you get for your perception check, Kadiak?
17.
17. You see no spiders.
Right.
All right. So
I'm gonna reach behind my head, and I'm going to tighten my blindfold.
I like how everyone
Thought you
was
were gonna take
looking
it
like, what?
I was like, oh, is he going to take it off? Oh, shoot.
That was dirty. All right, cool. So, all right. Do you want to head? Where do you want to head?
Are those wires or spider webs attached to the gear shift thing?
Spider webs.
Okay. Kadiak's gonna go look at the gear thing.
Okay.
Actually, wait, no. Is that a minecart on the right?
That is correct.
Okay, he's gonna look in the minecart, see if there's any Aetherium in there.
Give me a nature check. See if you can identify what is in the minecart.
Is a 19.
There's a lot of coal and rock, but no Aetherium.
I got a rock.
This is the burning rock. This is coal. So if we light this on fire and push it down the track, we'll be able to see a lot better.
You want to light how much coal on fire?
It's not an explosive.
Again, you want to light how much coal on fire?
Kadiak shrugs and wanders off to the gear shift to look at that too.
How much coal is over there? Someone fill me in. You don't carry coal around like a torch. The whole thing burns.
So the gear, this looks like the gear was attached to something bigger and actually just has been plopped here. The gear is not attached to anything in the area.
We'll remember that our team is blind and explain that it's a minecart full of coal.
That sounds like a terrible idea. Why would you do that?
Consider the smoke and the damage to the environment. Oh, my goodness.
And my lungs. What if it lights the rest of the coal in here on fire and then we can't get our Aetherium?
So, left or right?
Flip a coin. Roll a
Left or
dice.
straight?
Are those doors or are they just cross beams holding up the cavern?
They're
tunnel
just cross
thing?
beams.
I say we go straight.
Okay. Let's go.
Right. Oh, I also pass off the light torch to Piotr because I actually don't need it either.
Thank you. My eyes do not fare well in these conditions.
My eyes just don't fare well.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. So this would not help you much. Do you even... Never mind. That's a question for another time.
All right.
I turn and give Artyom like a bit of a look of just like, mm-hmm.
Pat him on the shoulder.
Who touched me?
Yours truly.
All I can smell in here is coal. I can't even smell Anya.
All right. So you walk forward.
RTM, what do I smell like?
Right now,
Like a
coal.
promiscuous duck.
So you walk forward, and you see a dwarven style gate ahead of you. It's actually is glowing with a faint blue light.
Well, that's fun. Looks like magic. Or
Why you should not be able to
do-
see what's
do-
behind it, but for some reason it's showing you what's behind it. I don't know why, but
do dwarven doors usually glow like that, Kadiok?
Ancient ones might. My doors are all wood. Or hide in a tent.
Hmm.
Yeah, can look at dwarven stone cutting to see anything about the door? Besides the fact that it is dwarven make.
well,
Any runes or
so as you approach it, some dwarven runes do appear. And it reads, only those with the key of the king and only those with the key of the priest may pass.
Kadak will pause for a minute and then, after some thought, repeat that to the rest of the party.
Any idea what that means?
I thought you guys didn't have priests.
Don't. Mordeviran mountain doors. Thousands of years ago. Who knows?
Is
That
there
is
like
only-
keyholes on the door?
There are two, as the door is like a double swinging door, so there are two keyholes there. Yeah.
Okay. It's
You
not a
wouldn't happen to-
metaphorical key.
You wouldn't happen to be a secret dwarven king, would you?
Or to have like
Caveat
acquired?
Thinks
one
for a
of
minute,
these?
and then looks down at his medallion that he's wearing and looks at the keyhole and decides it doesn't fit. Nope, sorry.
Okay, so
Well,
there are
let's-
keys.
I'm gonna walk up and just give the door a little shove, see if maybe it's unlocked, and
All right, give me a Constitution saving throw.
Ha!
Oh.
The door zaps you. It says you're a murderer.
I am a
Time to
natural
Right.
Turns you into a duck.
What'd you get,
so,
Corvette?
Total of 22, but I got natural 20.
Okay, so you do feel a kind of like spark like hit you, but you are able to pull your hand back before you get take any damage or anything.
Well, guys, let's not touch that without the keys. But
Do we assume the
Good.
keys are the other way?
we guess we gotta look at least. Because we're actually here. We're here for the Aetherium, so it doesn't matter where we find it. But this door is intriguing.
Well, that sounds. The runes on it sound like it might be a vault, especially if it was so valuable. So
Or into the city itself.
head down the other way, I guess.
Passage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Secret
Go
tunnels.
Secret tunnels. And die.
All right, so we're heading in the other direction.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Hey, at least we know this wasn't the way to go. We
All right.
figured that out really fast.
So you begin to head down the tunnel. Following more tracks, it twists and curves. Ignore the clipping through the edge of the world.
Through the walls.
You eventually come to this
A sprite.
A domovoy.
Oh,
part,
wait.
and you see some skeletal beings wearing ancient dwarven armor standing. I will zoom in a bit so you can get a better look. There is like a palisade here. I'm going to adjust your marching order slightly since this is, since there's a gap there that you probably all can't walk across. But yeah, so they are kind of, they're wearing ancient dwarven armor, but they're kind of just standing there for now. They're not really doing anything.
What's
do-
in the middle and
Oh, go ahead.
I was just wondering what's like the red pool at the top and then like in the middle of it all.
In the middle
little
is a bunch of
orange.
in the middle of it, you see it's a gemstone in the middle, a glowing gemstone, and there's and it's skeletons surrounding it. However, those skeletons aren't standing. It's just these other two skeletons that are just kind of standing there.
Are they
And the red
dwarven
pool?
skeletons?
They are dwarven skeletons. Yeah, they are dwarven-sized skeletons. Yes. They're not doing anything. They're just sitting and they're just standing.
Yeah, what about that pool too? Like bird-esque.
I mean, it's a red pool. You don't have any clue. I mean, someone could try to give an Arcana check or something to try to identify it. But other than that, I mean, just
It's not obviously blood or something like that.
yeah, it's not obviously blood or anything.
Our first thought. It's not blood, is it? We've ran into so much blood already. So
I mean, I'm just thinking about this massive gemstone in the floor. It's crazy. Okay, do we want to make nice or do we want to sneak past? Or do we want to just break them to pieces?
Maybe this is where it reveals that Kadiak secretly is an ancient dwarven king.
Kadiak can walk forward. He is a dwarf.
Kadiak, you lead the way.
So as you approach, the skeletons rush over and take up defensive positions. They're holding swords and shields, and they take up a defensive position. And Kadiak, as you approach, everyone, you all see Kadiak like collapse to the floor. Kadiak, however, to you, you are standing on the other side of the palisade, and you're standing next to, you recognize the armor, and so you're standing next to two dwarven soldiers, and you hear shouting, coming from further down, coming from the direction you came, and the soldiers, they look at each other, then they're like, "The deep ones, they're coming up from the ground. We've dug too deep," and the other one's like, "We've got to hold the line. We can't let them into the city." And they, and someone comes out and he's holding this gemstone, this glowing gemstone that you see on the ground. And at that moment, you see from the gaps where, if you look on the map where you're at, you see these creatures with singular green glowing eyes burst from the ground and begin rushing the palisade. And one of the dwarves throws the gemstone on the ground, and there's a huge burst of light, and then you awaken on the ground. With your companions looking at you.
I'm going to have pushed everybody out of my way, and I'm going to be like standing, kneeled down next to Kadiak and like checking his pulse and
Yeah, I'm gonna hop over him to like stand between him and the dudes with swords out.
Yep.
be like reaching in the like an herb pouch on my belt, and I'm gonna pull out a really strong smelling one and stick it under Kadiak's nose.
First thing he does when he wakes up is grab his hammer, grab the maul, and swing it towards the gaping holes in the floor, just in case there's something there. As he stands up,
I'm gonna stumble back.
you all see
Whoa!
that?
Watch where you're swinging that thing.
Assuming you didn't see that, then.
See what?
See what?
You fell over.
There's a spell. The gemstone caused some sort of spell. Those skeletons are, I think, cursed to forever defend this place from something called what they call the Deep Ones. Glowing creatures that crawled from these holes.
Do you see any glowing creatures now?
Not now, but I did a second ago. That's why I tried to hit him.
The skeletons aren't attacking, right? They're just
No,
standing there.
they're standing in defensive position.
Okay,
I'm gonna
Kadiak
like
is going
scooch
to.
forward a little bit until I'm like right up against the palisade. I'm just like waiting to see. Like I'm gonna go slowly, see what they do.
Nothing. They're just standing and waiting.
Turn back. I
Is
give
the
everyone a
palisade-
look. Can I try and like scooch between a couple of the spikes and just like move past?
Sure, you are welcome to. Tell me how far you want to go.
I'm just like I'll just go right on the other side, wait and see what happens.
All right. So as you approach, the skeletons charge. Roll for initiative.
Yeah, great. Okay, awesome.
Oof.
That's kind of what I was expecting, but
Oh, we should have sent a dwarf.
oh boy, that's a nat 1 for me, you guys.
No.
That-
So that's a
Kadiak.
4. That's a total of 4.
RTM, what'd you get?
4.
Yeah, I heard what you got. RTM, what did you get?
Okay, sorry.
I
You're
got
good.
an unnatural 20.
Okay. Kadiak?
At 20, 22 total.
Okay. Corvette?
Dirty 20 also.
Okay. RTM or Corvette, who wants to go first?
I do.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Already
Okay.
goes before me.
Drith, what'd you get?
11.
Piotr?
18.
Okay. So it starts with Kadiak. Then it will be the skeletons. Then it will be Artyom. Then it will be Corvette. Then it will be Piotr. Then it will be Drith. Then it will be Jelania. All right, Kadiak, you're first. Skeletons are on deck.
Great. So bonus action to enter the battle trance of the Urdine. And he's going
Sorry,
to...
real quick. It is rough terrain to move through that palisade, by the way.
Rip.
So, what's that? 5, 10, 15. I could get to this other palisade, though, right?
Yeah.
Great. Well, I'm going to be doing that. As he shouts in Dwarven, had something, but I forgot it. He's just going to be shouting a Dwarven battle cry.
Sorry, I need to reposition you so you're actually on the grid. Okay, so you're shouting Dwarven battle cry. You doing anything else?
I'm going to be... They are actively attacking now, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm going to be nailing that one there.
Okay, roll to hit.
Will be a... Looks right now, apparently. That's an 11.
Okay, that will not hit.
That's my turn. Unless I can use a free action to try and intimidate them, but I doubt it.
Not this time. All right. So Skeleton's going to go. Skeleton 1 is going to attack, swing his short sword at Kadiak. And what's your AC, Kadiak?
16.
Okay, that was going to hit you. That's going to be for 6 points of slashing damage.
Great. So that is halved because of my resistance.
Yep.
Because I am raging.
Sorry, I need to adjust where the skeleton is. He's not actually there because I need to be on the grid. All right, Skeleton 2 is going to attack Jelania. And what's your AC, Jelania?
16.
Okay, that's going to hit you for also 6 points of slashing damage. All right, Artyom, it is now your turn, and Corvette, you're on deck.
I'm gonna march forward and attempt to smash the palisade out of the way.
Okay, roll to hit the palisade.
Raise my mighty warhammer. And roll a 1.
You, your hammer kind of just like you hit the palisade, but it doesn't like really do anything. All right, Corvette, it's your turn.
Very much.
Wait, can I finish my movement across the palisade?
It is so you used 10 feet of movement. Yeah, you can do that.
Alright, let me over.
All right, Corvette, it's your turn.
All right, I will go.
And Piotr, you're on deck. Sorry.
So I summon as I'm running across the. So before I get to the palisade, I can go down that one spot, right?
Right here? Yeah, you can go right here.
Down. Yeah. And as I'm running over there, I'm summon Eladin as a bow, and then take an arrow and fire it at the skeleton on the bottom. Can I see
You
through the
cannot
palisade?
see. No, but you can see through the palisade. You just can't see through that wall right there.
That one. Oh, okay. Can I see the other
You can
skeleton?
see the other skeleton, yes.
I will shoot that skeleton.
Okay, roll to hit.
Let me go to my... Alright. Oh. Oof. 12.
That will hit.
Whoo! Man, that was such a bad roll. Alright. So, 1d... First one, 8. 8. Ooh. I got 8 plus 6. So, 14?
Okay, that is a very dead skeleton. Tell me how you did it.
I just shoot it straight through the skull and maybe the arrow shattered. It just like cracks it and like falls off.
Cool. Skeleton falls to the ground. Okay, Piotr, it is now your turn.
I am gonna. Oh wait, so the thing on the bottom middle is still alive then, right?
Correct.
Wait, what's the thing? Okay, never mind. Sorry. These sprites always confuse me. I am going to get into position and cast Vicious Mockery.
I want
So,
you to think
like-
about that. You've tried to cast a Vicious Mockery on skeletons before.
Oh yeah, that's right. Didn't work. All right.
I'm glad that you're now using your cantrips. Now we just need to get you to think through your cantrips.
All right, fine. In that case, I am going to grant a die of bardic inspiration to. Wait, who's the one in green?
That would be Shalanya.
That's Anya.
Yep.
A bardic inspiration die to Anya.
And how are you doing that?
To be like, hey, you guys did pretty good work on those other ones. You got this. Go team.
All
I'll
right.
get better at this.
You're good. So, Jelania, you have a die of bardic inspiration. It is now the turn of Drith with Anya on deck.
Okay, so Drith is going to use this turn to anamorph into an let's see, size is large, so it's going to be an 8-foot long, and can I say like 6-foot tall? It's a giant goat.
Okay.
8 foot tall. Wait, what? What's the dimensions again?
8 foot long,
Like-
6 feet tall.
8 foot long,
I
6
want it
feet.
to be like-
Okay. But still.
It's a goat the size of a Clydesdale.
It's a huge goat.
That's
Exactly.
terrifying.
And that's my turn.
All right. Okay.
You can't move after that? Oh, okay. Never mind.
Anya, it is your turn.
It's my action. Oh, I guess I can.
Yeah, do you want to move?
How far away is the remaining guy from me?
Be
Like,
1, 2,
feet-wise?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That would be 35 movement. You're going ahead there? Sorry, if you stopped, I didn't hear it.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
It was 35 feet of
I
movement.
have 40 feet, so I'm just gonna go right.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I'm gonna try to stay 20 feet away from my next attack, so I'm just gonna head up like right behind Kadiak, and I'm gonna bleat really loudly at him as a sign of encouragement.
All right.
Man.
Okay. Anya, it is your turn with Kadiak on deck.
You're on mute, by the way.
You're muted. Yeah, you're muted, Lydia.
Sorry,
You're good.
my headphones were dying. I had to rescue them.
You're good.
So this giant goat comes running up behind. So I am gonna like duck around to the opposite side of it from where I am, and as I'm going, I'm gonna do like double slash across, like the chest area, try and cut the ribs off. and
All right.
stuff.
Roll the hit.
First attack is a net. Wait, no, that was what did I make? That's a 16 to hit,
That will hit.
and the second one is an 18 to hit.
That will also hit.
Okay. So that is a total of 12 slashing damage.
Okay. So you do some pretty severe damage to it. It is still standing, however. And Kadiak, it is your turn.
Yeah, you forgot to move her to the other side.
I did. That's my bad.
It's okay. I'm just so stealthy that you can't notice. So sneaky.
Quick question: the giant goat, is that a large creature?
Since we're saying it's about the size of a Clydesdale, so we'll say it just takes up 1 space.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Kadok's gonna close an attack, with advantage, because he is flanking.
Okay. Roll the hit.
That is a 20 or nat 20 to hit. Here we go.
All right.
First one was a 16, second was nat 20, so I will take the nat 20.
Okay. Roll your critical hit.
Two.
Rip.
That will be 15 damage.
All right. Tell me how you did it.
The maul is just going to come straight down in an overhead swing onto the skull and just keep on going.
All right. So the skeleton crumbles to the ground. It is, and the combat has ended.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Does the crystal do anything when they fall?
Crystal just stays there.
Okay, but there's not like any flash or anything.
Nope.
Okay. I want to get a closer look at it. I don't know what I'm going to be able to get out of it, but I'm going to try.
So you approach the crystal. You see, so it's orange, kind of like a garnet. It's glowing slightly. Do you want to pick it up?
I want to poke it with a sword first.
Okay. So you poke it with the sword. It kind of just like wobbles, and then that's it.
I don't know if I want to touch this. That could be a
Let the
bad
dwarf
idea.
do it.
Maybe it's like the dwarves are more allergic to it, though.
They're the ones who threw it. Or, had it, if it's here. I don't know how much Kadiak shared.
Most of it.
Oh, okay.
So, you
Did
Caddy.
the,
Go ahead.
so Corvus gonna walk up to it also and ask Kadiak, did you hear them say anything? Sometimes, or when they, whatever this was happened.
Think so. DM, did I hear anything?
I mean, you heard the conversation about the deep ones, and then the flash of light.
But nothing
more,
when the
more about the casting of this or using this artifact, this item.
Nope.
afraid I didn't.
Well, try it. I reach down and gingerly touch it, and I draw my hand back, like the door. I'm learning.
Nothing crazy happens when you touch it.
All right. Then I gingerly pick it up until I'm comfortable. If it doesn't do anything weird.
So you feel like it's slightly warm, but it doesn't do anything else other than that.
Okay. Well.
How big is this thing?
You hold it in your fist, in your hand.
Okay.
Did it? I know we at the door we were at before. Were they normal keyholes, or were they? Like
They were normal
weird...
keyholes.
Okay.
I'm gonna go walk over and look at this red pond. I'm gonna grab one of the bones off of the skeletons, and I'm gonna bring it with me.
Okay. So you approach. It's just this swirling kind of red, red liquid in this. It's kind of this cauldron that's sitting there. Yeah.
I'm gonna drop the bone in.
Okay, so you drop the bone in, and nothing happens.
Drith is really nervous, so he's gonna start eating some of Corvitt's cape.
I thwack him with the back of my hand. Knock it! No, that's. Come on.
That's Gucci.
You're messing it up even more.
Caddy will toss one apple.
Thank you.
Look through the skeletons and see if they have any keys.
No keys on the skeletons. So Anya, the liquid does look kind of familiar. And that the more you're looking at it, it looks almost like that potion that Corvette had found earlier. The same kind of liquid.
A healing potion?
Healing potion, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like a huge healing cauldron.
Drith is gonna go and stick his tongue in it.
Soup.
Oh no.
So
Big old goat tongue.
goat goes up and sticks his tongue in it, and it feels very soothing. Very it's then it soothing, relaxing. It feels good on your tongue.
I'm gonna
Does anyone have any?
reach a hand down and just touch it with one finger.
And that finger feels good.
I'm gonna drink some.
Okay. Have you taken any damage, Drith?
No.
Well, so if you had taken damage, you would have healed, but you haven't taken any damage.
Okay, then
Kadiak is
I
gonna
would
go
drink
heal himself
some.
then.
I'm
How
gonna
does it?
convey as best I can.
All right. So anyone who chooses
I-
to drink and has taken damage, you heal 1d4 plus 4 hit points.
Does anybody
Oh,
have any
cool.
vials?
I remember how I
Ooh.
picked up 3 bottles of wine.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sadly, I want them, but this is probably a little more important.
I don't know about that.
I'll keep one. I'll keep one bottle of wine just to celebrate
Dump the
something.
wine. Dump the wine.
Drith indicates that he wants to drink the other 2.
Repressed, Drith.
I give one to Drith.
I have a water skin. You can keep the wine that you paid money for. I'll empty out the water that I paid nothing for.
No, he
didn't
just took
pay-
it out of the basement.
I took it from the castle.
Yeah. So
Basement.
he's like, he didn't pay for the wine, he just took it.
But still,
I wasn't there, so I don't know.
Oh, you're like, where'd you get wine?
Drith holds a bottle in his teeth and throws it back.
that's one way. And now we're
Yeah,
gonna
can I
have
fill
to
up my
carry him.
water skin with this stuff then?
The potion stuff? Or the wine?
Yeah.
Potion stuff? Yeah, you can fill up your water skin with the potion stuff, yeah.
I'll keep my water skin and like normal, but so I do take. I don't know if anyone wants a swig of wine before we move on.
Yes, please.
Okay.
I think it might be
That
a
would
good
be
idea to
great.
keep our wits about us.
Yes,
I mean,
but
Drift's
sometimes-
already gone, so
Yeah. Drith's just, so yeah, I am gonna need a Constitution saving throw from Drith. See,
Yeah.
for knocking back a whole bottle of wine.
Wait, can I get advantage
I'll
because I'm
take-
A, a goat, and then B, my body mass is...
We'll lower the difficulty.
My body weight is significantly greater.
We will lower the difficulty is what we'll do.
Okay.
Kadiak is gonna fill
Come on,
his
Piotr,
water skin
we
as
all
well.
need a-
That's a-
even in a
That's a
in
5.
mine.
All right, let me remember what getting
Drunken
drunk.
goat, great.
I don't have lesser restoration.
I take the bottle. No more for you. Pass it. I'll take some of it.
I'll
Piotr,
take a
come on, you need to get some.
I'll take a swig. Fine.
Okay.
We're in a mine. We need something to, get us through this.
To lower our perception. All right.
Okay, so Drith, you have it's the equivalent of the poisoned condition. You have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
Nice.
Great.
Worth.
All right, so
Okay, so who all filled up their water skins with potion?
I did, because I'm smart.
Okay,
What are we gonna do?
I'm keeping my water skin a water skin.
okay,
I
and
already
then,
have one potion, but
Oh.
I'll give Kadiak, and I guess Anna, you're filling yours.
Yeah.
Your water skin. Kadiak, I'll give you one of the wine now potions.
I filled my water skin as well.
Oh. Who doesn't have like a potion on them?
You give it to me.
Here you go, RTM. Give one to you and then one to Drith can't carry anything right now, so Piotr.
all right. So the drinking the potion will give you 1d4 plus 4 hit points.
Is it just single use for a whole water skin? Or is
The
it
water skin will be a single use, but the wine bottles will be 2 uses, since the wine bottles are slightly bigger.
Yes! That was worth it.
Cool. All right, you moving on?
Awesome.
Alright.
Down the hall.
Okay, so
orange. Orange.
The orange
Is it rock? Stone.
garnet.
I picked it
Orange
up.
stone. You picked it up. Yeah.
Does it look like a gemstone? What is it?
I mean, it's an orange, yeah, orange gemstone,
Orange.
orange garnet, basically is what it would look like.
Gemstone.
It's glowing and it's warm.
Does anyone want to hold on to this?
Hold on to what?
Need the orange glowy rock.
Nope. Glowy things.
You're afraid
scare
it's
me.
going to blow up in your pocket?
I don't. Who knows? But I just stuff it back in my bag. No pocket.
I just thought, is that a glowing orange gemstone in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
Well,
My mom watched the show.
All right. So, we ready to move on?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So you walk. Come on, team. So you move forward. You do kind of come to this intersection. Part of it goes forward. Some goes north. Some goes south.
Stairs.
Yeah, they are stairs that descend up, but you know.
Ascend or descend?
Send up.
Well, I mean, like
which is it?
they ascend slightly up.
Yep. Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's ascension squared.
Should we just
Cadillac,
take a
you're leading
long
us.
stay to it? Oh yeah, Cadillac.
Is Pass Without Trace still a thing?
Yes,
With the drunk Drith.
we'll say for now, yes.
Yeah, Kenny's gonna motion to them to stay there, and he's gonna go peek through the door.
All right.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Oh,
let's
Drith
split
is
you two.
concentrating real hard right now.
About to say we
Just
split you
cross-eyed
two.
goat, just like.
You-
Okay, so you peek through the door. You see what will look like it would have been a foundry of some sort.
Ooh. Let's look.
I
Who knows what we'll find?
don't see anything. Don't see any other creatures. So I'm gonna motion to the rest to pop on over.
I'll stay behind at the intersection, watching for things coming up behind us.
I don't hop. I walk.
And Drith stumbles.
So are so the other five. So Jelania's gonna stay back.
Can someone steady me?
Yeah.
All right. So you all come in
Why am I behind a drunk goat?
because you are. So you walk in. So you see the foundry. So you see what looks like cooled lava in the center at this point. You see barrels. You see an open like chest crate down here. Smash stuff on the other side. There are definitely signs of a great battle having taken place here at some point.
How cooled does the lava look? Like, is there a crust over it? Or
There's a
is
crust.
it
There's a crust.
actually-
There's a crust over it.
Okay, so
Touch it.
Cadillac is going to take a stone or something and toss it in there, see what happens. I'm assuming there's some sort of debris on the floor.
Yeah. It kind of like hits and bounces slightly.
Crack it though.
Doesn't really crack it, no.
Okay. Is that a sack over by the crane?
It is a bellows.
A bellows. Okay, gotcha. Well, Caddock's gonna go check the barrels first.
Standard blacksmithing supplies. Nothing overly exciting, you know. No metal or anything though. Just standard blacksmithing stuff.
Gotcha. He's gonna make his way around the room that way, so counterclockwise,
Okay.
and see
Corvin's
what's up.
going other way. Just looking.
Okay.
Find some Aetherium.
Give me investigation checks.
Okay. My last one is good. this is less good.
Can we have advantage since we are both searching the same bit just at 2 different times and helping
You
each other?
can give one person advantage, or you can both make the check.
I just got a nat 20, so.
Yeah,
Take
I
that.
got 14, so I got 14, so.
So, Kadiok,
Respectable still.
in the debris over on the other side of the room, as you're digging through it, as you've made your way over there, Corvette kind of looked briefly at the debris, kicked it around, and then kept walking. You, however, decided to give a more thorough dig through, and you find what looks to be a very well, you find a finely crafted dwarven short sword. And you recognize that along the edge it has been gilded with silver. So you find a silvered short sword.
Very nice.
That's a nice find.
Yeah. Jack is going to hold on until he reaches the other end of the room with the party to talk about it. Anything in the chest?
Nothing in the chest. Just again has like blacksmith aprons.
Gotcha. Okay, well, once he gets back to the rest of everyone, back to Jelania so that she can hear as well.
Are those shields on the wall?
Where are you looking? Oh, up here.
Bottom.
Yeah, they are shields and swords, but they're really old, rusted. Probably wouldn't be in good condition.
All right. Fair enough.
Darn,
Okay.
I'll look for an upgrade.
Okay, so bring the sword out, and this is dwarven make, and you can see here that the edge is silvered, so it'd be useful against the I guess undead and you Mordvirians call them were creatures that plague the land.
What do you call them?
It's
You cut out there, Mike. What do you call them?
wild ones, demons.
Those are very different things, but okay.
Well, you can
But
start
does
using that
anyone? I am going to stick with what I'm trained better in, but if someone else would rather have a short sword,
one? Corvette looks over at Anya. Like, hey, Anya, you want an upgrade?
Would it be an upgrade?
Silver.
I don't know. Got a
Maybe.
pretty short sword.
I mean, I
It's-
will hold on to it if we find something that needs it. I will use it. Definitely. You can never have too many swords until they start to cut you yourself. That is the old wives' proverb, I believe.
Hey, Drift, you want me to write that one down for you? I ask.
At that, Drith kind of goes over to the wall, throws up a bit, and then like falls over just flat on his side and starts to snore.
Should we eat him?
Kadiak is going to kick him as he walks by and starts heading down the south path.
Okay. Alright.
Drith screams because he actually is descended from the screaming.
Gosh.
Oh dear. All right. So you're all headed south now.
Yeah, we'll go.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm assuming that you eventually awake Drith up.
Yeah,
Okay.
something.
All right. So you head south. And come across more crap. Of course, more dwarven stuff.
More
you-
feces.
You come across another intersection. However, to the south is a dead end, and to the east, it's all caved in, so you can't get past that way.
To the left, it is.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, that's a sconce or something down in the bottom, right? I'm correct. Yeah,
That would be
yeah,
a sconce, yes.
Yeah, okay.
The fact that you notice that small object is impressive. But yes, it would be a sconce.
I saw it.
You didn't. You're blind.
Well, Adam saw it.
Color me impressed. All right. So you are continuing to the left?
Yes.
To the left.
So you come down, you descend these stairs, and you find yourself in this little area. There are two dwarven statues on either side. And as you're approaching Kadiak, you once again collapse to the ground, filled with a vision. You see dwarven soldiers standing, and they're looking, and they say, "We must not let the deep ones pass. We cannot let them get to the king. We will give our lives for him if we must." And then you awaken from your vision once more.
Oh. Kadiak is going to relate that vision as well. And then he's going to take a little bit closer look at the northern statue.
Okay. It is ancient, dwarven. Is there anything in particular you're looking for?
Runes or anything to point to the fact that it might be more than just a statue?
Nope. I mean, there's the candles in front of it, obviously, but other than that, nope, nothing.
Okay, cool. He's satisfied then.
Okay. All right. So you pass in.
Anybody else?
Should we try and be sneaky as we go in this room?
Yes.
What do we
I think
see
so.
in the room?
Yeah.
Well, from back here, what you can see.
So it looks trashed.
Give me a second. So what this is bad as so you can see, you can see debris and rubble, and it it has columns. These you can see, but that's pretty much all what you can tell.
Okay.
Guessing that this next room is the throne room.
Or leads to it.
Yeah.
Antechamber, maybe.
Okay. Let's do it. Sneakily.
Yes, sneakily would be good.
So give me stealth checks.
Do we still have Pass Without a Trace?
Yes.
Do I still have Bardic Inspiration?
Yes.
Is that a D6 or a D8?
It's a-
Ian?
D6.
Okay.
Guys, I'm sorry. My luck has run out. I got a nat 1.
Oh.
So
Good
Caddy.
thing skill check, and you can add the 10.
Add 10. But...
So
But
Kadiak.
even still.
We agreed to do critical fails is what we agreed in session 0. So Kadiak, as you're going forward, the rest of your team is doing fine. However, you stumble across the debris and get knocked prone. As you get knocked prone, you see 3 green eyes turn
Oh, no.
and come make their way towards you.
Great.
Everyone roll for initiative again.
Come on. Come on.
Hey, that's better. Okay.
I don't think I do
Good thing
anything.
I'm in the
but we
back.
can-
Okay. Artyom, what'd you get?
18.
Anya.
Dirty 20.
Kadiak.
18 as well.
All right, Artyom and Kadiak, who wants to go first?
I'm
I'll
not
let
laying
Artyom
down.
go first.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, Artyom can go first.
Corbett, what'd you get?
6. Wonderful 6.
Drith.
11.
Again. Piotr.
10.
Okay. So Anya's first, followed by Artyom, followed by Kadiak, followed by Piotr. Nope, sorry, followed by Drith. Then Piotr. Then that will be Corvette, and then everyone else. All right. Anya, you're first. Artyom, you're on deck.
Okay. So my stealth check was 25. Can I carry that through and like consider myself hidden from them?
Sure.
Maybe?
We could do that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, the only one that would be seen would be me at that point.
Yeah. So I am going to sneak around. Those squares are like pillars, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to sneak around to the south of that pillar. And I basically want to wait. Yeah, I'm going to wait until something comes to get Kadiak, and then I'm going to like attack from the shadows.
Perfect. All right. Artyom, it is your turn. Kadiak, you're on deck.
Well, I got a 23. But hiding isn't my style. So I'm gonna move up to that spot northwest of Kadiak.
Sorry, I'm readjusting stuff to make sure it's actually on the grid. Okay. All right, so you're going to move to this spot right here?
Yep. Wait, hang on. How many feet was that?
That would be 1, 2, 3, 4,
5.
5 spaces.
25 feet.
So when it says range 5 feet, that means I have to be standing right next to.
Correct.
All right, put me right in front of that one creepy little thing. No, right in front of it.
1. Up 1.
And I'm going to cast Word of Radiance. I utter a divine word to me. Each creature of your choice that I can see within 5 feet must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 1d6 radiant damage.
Okay. It succeeded in its Constitution saving throw. Because your spell save DC is like 14, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So by the way, as you have moved forward there, you see a glowing blue figure. He's a dwarf with a mohawk and a long beard. He has 2 axes in his hands. That's what you see as you move up there, Artyom, by the way.
I'm going to relay that information to our prone dwarf because I don't know what that means.
Okay. All right. It is now the turn of Kadiak with Drith on deck.
Kadiak's gonna stand up and chuck one of his hand axes at a deep one that
Okay.
he can see.
All right. Roll the hit.
That will be a 25 to hit.
That will hit.
That will be. Oh, I used the bonus action to
Rage.
first.
Okay.
So, yeah. That'll be extra 2 damage. That'll be 11 damage.
Okay.
I don't think I can see either of the back 2, so I can just see the one that Artyom's standing in front of, right?
Yeah. Okay. Drith, it is your turn with Piotr on deck.
Okay, so my movement is 40 feet. Can I make it to the one like on the bottom?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a charge, which means that I basically just attack it, charging, right? And if I hit it, then the target must succeed on a DC 13 strength saving throw or be knocked prone.
Okay. Roll to hit.
And also, does the fact that I was hidden, like I had a 26 stealth check, does that negate the disadvantage from the drunkenness?
Yes, we'll say it negates the disadvantage from the drunkenness.
I forgot you're drunk. Take it.
Sick. Okay.
I told y'all.
Why is the
It's
drunk
just like-
goat next to me?
Okay. All right. Does a 16 hit?
A 16 does hit. And it has to succeed on a what strength sir, or be knocked prone?
Okay. Awesome. DC 13.
Okay. It fails. And then how much damage do you do it?
Okay. I did 10 damage because I rolled terribly.
Okay, then.
Looks like this thing wasn't able to dodge the ran.
All right. Piotr, it is your turn, and Corvette, you're on deck.
All right. Real quick, because really the only thing I heard as far as your description are these one-eyed creatures,
Yes.
or did you say 3 sets of eyes?
Three sets of, 3 eyes. Yeah, they're all one-eyed creatures, yes.
Okay. Are these undead? Can I cast Bane on them?
You can cast Bane on them. You could also probably cast the Vicious Mockery.
Yeah, I could do that. I want to do Bane first.
Okay.
Slightly metagaming, and I'm assuming I'll have enough slots for the end of the session, so let's just do it.
Okay.
Anyway, so I'm going to... Can I get all 3 of them from here?
I think you'll need to move to be able to see them, but...
Okay, let me move, like, right next to whoever that is, right at the entrance to the room.
But then, yeah, you can see them.
Okay, I'm going to cast Bane, and if I don't recall incorrectly, they need to make a... What is that? Wisdom saving throw to match my DC, which is 14, or spell save DC.
Okay. Top one succeeded, middle one failed, and top one and bottom one succeeded.
Well, okay, and then so the middle one then, right, was the
Yep.
one that failed.
Mhm.
He needs to, every time he makes an attack roll, he needs to roll a d4 and subtract that from his attack roll. I'm gonna call it there for now. Actually, no, I'll hand out Bardic Inspiration. Who's right below the middle one?
Can you hand out Bardic Inspiration and cast that spell on the same turn?
I
think
thought
so,
Bardic
yeah.
you can.
Inspiration is bonus action.
Okay. So who are you handing? You want to hand it to Kadiak or Anya? Well, Anya already has it, so you can hand it to Kadiak. Or
Yeah, Kadiak.
No, I used mine.
oh, you did?
No, it,
Oh, okay.
wait, is it expendable?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
When
Yeah,
she
it is.
when
Yeah,
she
it
it's an you give him a Bardic Inspiration die. So you're gonna hand it to Kadiak or Anya?
Kadiak.
Okay.
Let's
How do you inspire
go.
Kadiak?
Look deep within yourself, friend. You know the ways to, I don't know, just aim for the kneecaps.
All right, Corbett, it's your turn.
All right, a couple questions. What do I know? They have green eyes, but are they like humanoid?
So they're kind of like
figure?
hunched over. They have this, their eye takes up most of their what would be their head. Let
Are they
me
humanoid looking?
vaguely.
Imagining a
Um,
one green-eyed golem, is that?
Not a
Ish.
golem. They have kind of like spikes on their back.
No,
It's
golem
like a
from
troglodyte.
Oh, like a golem. Like a
yes,
golem.
golem from
Golem
Smeagol
from
golem.
from
Smeagol,
Lord of the
there we go.
Rings. It's kind of like Schmeagol, like that. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Okay. So like a rough humanoid shape.
Yes.
All right. Anyway, and second question, real fast. How tall is this room, this kind of tunnel hallway?
So the tunnel you're in is about 10 feet tall. So, and then that room in there is a lot taller.
Okay. Where does it? Okay. And then Corvette, I will. All right, there's a lot of baddies. So he just knows there's a mess up there. So Corvette's like, well, I got to get a better view. Let's try this thing. Uses Radiant Soul. Once per long rest, I transform, and these incorporeal gold streaming light from them wings emerge from behind Corvette. And for 1 minute, I have a flying speed of 30 and can have one attack or spell per turn, deal 4 additional radiant damage to one target.
Okay.
So I move in, go 30 feet straight left because that's all I can do. But when I get to an opening, I want to start flying up.
Okay.
At that point, just however much in the air I can. And then for my bonus action, I'm going to cast Hexblade's Curse. Can I see the farthest of the 3 creatures, the top one?
Yes.
How far do I have to be in that? 30 feet. He's 30 feet away.
Yes.
Right?
He's 15 feet away from you, yes.
Cool. I cast Hexblade's Curse on him. And
Perfect.
enter.
All right. So, the top one is going to move this way, and it's going to stare at Artyom. Artyom, you begin to feel kind of ill. I need you to give me a DC 12 Constitution saving throw.
$18.
Okay. So you succeed. The next one is going to stare at Drith. I need you to give me a DC 12 Constitution saving throw.
Drith has disappeared.
Well, we'll make
Yeah.
Drith do it when he comes back. The next one stares at Kadiak, since he can't see Anya. So stare at Kadiak. Kadiak, give me a DC 12 Constitution saving throw.
Another nat 20. Woot woot.
Dude.
right.
It's like number
could you move
4.
26 total.
Nice. All right. So you're
Yeah.
no nothing. Yes, Corvette.
Could you just move the map slightly to the left so we could see what else there might be? Okay. Cool. Thank you.
All right. So the blue figure looks at you and says, in kind of an echoey voice, "Champions, aid me in defeating these deep ones so we may restore order to the city." And then it charges forward and attacks that thing, that deep one. And holy crap, it gets a nat 20.
Oh, wow.
We all
Dwarf
did.
day.
Yeah. Okay, and he deals a sum of damage. It is now.
He's just got to make his Constitution saving throw now that he's back.
All right, Drith. Yeah. I need you to make a DC 12 Constitution saving throw.
With disadvantage because you're. Wait, no.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not.
Does that apply to.
Your
does
constitution
it apply
has
to
been
saving throws, or is
negatively
that-
amended.
I think
Or
it's
if
just
that applies to
ability
saving throws or
checks.
not.
Yeah, it's
Do I
just
have
ability
disadvantage
checks.
if I'm drunk?
Precaution?
No, I don't think it doesn't apply to
Saving throws.
saving throws.
Okay. Because I got an 18.
Okay, you are good.
Look at us go.
All right, it is now the turn of Anya with RTM on deck.
Well, I totally wasted my last turn, I guess. So
Blame your team for
I think
deciding to
I'm-
charge forward.
I know, man. But since I'm
Good job.
hidden, do I get advantage because I'm hidden if I attack that one?
Yeah.
Well, furthest south one.
We'll say
Okay,
that,
I
yeah.
will do that. Just gonna like leap out of the shadows, both swords over the head, come down. All right. First attack, that was 2 11s. That's a 17. And the second one is a 21.
Those will both hit.
Cool. Will the silvery thing? No, I'm using my old ones first. Yeah. If the silver does anything, I don't know. Okay. That's 9 total points of slashing damage.
Alrighty. Managed to chop some of the spikes off its back, leave a little gaping wound. And Artyom, it is your turn with Kadiak on deck.
Alright, I'm gonna take the one up north of me, hoping that the drunk goat will figure out to take the one up north of him. So that's and I'm gonna cast. Well, I guess I'm just gonna cast Word of Radiance again because each creature of my choice within 5 feet has to succeed on a Constitution saving throw or
Okay.
take 1d6 radiant damage. So
They-
I'll attack both of them.
They both failed.
Ha! Take that, nerds. 1.
Alright. Okay, Kadiak, it is your turn with the drunk goat on deck.
Great. I'm going to close, so right between the goat and Artyom. And then I'm going to attack with my maul.
Alright.
That is a 15? Yeah, no, sorry. That's a 6, not a 9. 12.
That will not hit. It kind of, you can just like your maul gets caught in the spikes on its back, and you have to pull it out without really doing any damage.
Bonus action, can I try and yank out the hand axe that I beamed that guy with before?
Sure, give me a strength check.
+2 to that because I am in my trance. So that will be a 26.
Okay, we will say you are successful. You've retrieved your hand axe.
Great.
It is now Drith's turn with Piotr on deck.
Okay, so I'm just gonna ram the golem north of me, and with disadvantage, rats. Got an 8.
That will not hit.
We have gotten a very quiet goat.
Piotr, it is your turn with Corvette on
sure?
deck. Am I sure? Yes.
I'm going to cast Vicious Mockery on the one furthest to the left, I guess. Bottom one.
Okay, it fails.
Cool. Wait, is that a bonus? No, it's not.
You're gonna roll
Who
your
has-
D4 damage.
Oh, it fails. I thought
Yeah,
you said
no.
I failed.
It fails.
Okay. I was like, well, that's anticlimactic. Four.
Okay.
Nice. Piotr, how are you mocking?
Yeah, tell me how you mock this
by the
thing.
way?
I'm like, ha! Look at that one-eyed freak. Take this and shove it through your pupil. And then I don't know what Vicious Mockery looks like, but I'm imagining like this cone of force coming out of my mouth.
Sure, we'll say that. Yeah, that's what Vicious Mockery looks like for you. All right.
Good at it.
Okay. Corvid, it is your turn with the beasts on deck.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So since I'm flying, can I fly like up and over those beasties without opportunity attack, and then kind of settle in down between them, the top two?
Yes, you can. That'll take all your movement, but yeah.
I want to do that. So we go there, and then I take Eladin in my hand. As I'm flying down, take it in his spear form, just try and like ram it down into like the creature's side. Okay.
Okay.
King. Ooh. 10.
That
Is that,
will.
do you get any bonuses from the Hexblade's Curse? Is that just
12.
You do not
Thank
hit.
you. No.
You
Oh.
kind of like just scratch harmlessly along its, thick leathery skin, not really doing anything to it.
Come on, Eladin. You could do more than that.
So the creature to the north is going to attack Corvid with its claws, using its multi-attack.
I'm going to cast what's that thing that I use as a reaction?
Cutting words.
Yeah, cutting words.
All right, tell me how you cut the words.
Hey, you dropped your pocket.
All right.
It's so confused.
Well, you did save Corvid from one of the attacks. Because the first attack missed and the second attack it's not hit. All right, next one is going to attack. The middle one is next one is going to attack Aetherium. What's your AC, Aetherium?
19.
Okay, well it hits with the first attack and misses with the second attack. So the first attack does 5 points of slashing damage to Aetherium.
Ha! A mosquito! Someone threw a mosquito on top of me.
The bottom one is going to attack Anya. And what's your AC again, Anya? 15? 16. First attack misses. Second attack hits for...
All right, then I'm going to riposte attack on that first one.
Okay, so go ahead and do that. The second attack did hit you
That's
for
a
8.
natural 20.
All right, roll your critical damage.
Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, I also get to add the D10 to that because superiority die.
Alrighty.
Oh boy. So, oh geez. 28 points of slashing damage.
All right, tell me how you utterly and completely destroyed this thing.
So his claws just kind of come across, and I like Matrix style duck backwards. And I come up, I just sweep right around and disembowel it right across.
So does she get hit for the second one then?
You can't touch me. You have
Yeah,
no idea what you're doing. You have no idea what you're trying to do.
I will say that the second attack doesn't happen because you killed it before the second attack happened. So, all right, no damage to Anya.
It's totally just envision just an anime style. She leans over and then her sword clinks back into her. The only thing is her sword clinks back into her sheath and it just falls apart.
Okay, the ghostly dwarf lord is going to move up and make its attack with make an attack and hit the deep one for an undisclosed amount of damage.
It looked like it was gonna attack Corvid to me, and I was like, "Oh."
All right.
Yeah, at that point.
It's now Anya's turn with Aetherium on deck.
All right, so I'll just slide on up to get the thing. Yeah, I'll do 2 attacks.
Roll to hit. You are flanking, so you will have advantage.
But the thing that I'm flanking with is its other buddy, right? Or does it count if it's not 100% across?
Yeah, you are correct. You're not flanking.
Yeah. Okay, well, one is a 23 and the other one is an 11.
Okay, the 23 hits.
Okay. Okay. That's 5 points of slashing damage. Yeah. That's I'm gonna do an action surge actually for this next one. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll do 2 more attacks. Lightning speed. Okay, that's a 23 and a dirty 20 for this next two.
Okay.
15 more slashing damage.
All right. Tell me how you kill that one. Oh, Slayer of the Deep.
Oh, just kind of like slide on under. I like to go low. You know, everybody's like real. You know, they wave their swords up and whatever way up high. I go low and I just bring my sword up right through underneath
The kneecap, like I said, Paul.
I like to go around. Yeah, I nick the kneecap with one. And like he and then he like grabs down like, oh, ow, my knee, and I stab right up through like the bottom of the jaw and out through the eye in the front.
Nice.
I told you guys that like thinking about joint injuries causes me physical pain. Kneecaps.
All
Oh. And
right.
then I'm gonna finish my movement by closing
Drift throws
on
up
that
on
last
the
one.
dead body.
Okay.
That'll show him.
Artyom, it is your turn. Kadiak, you're on deck.
I'm going to
It's a bonus
smash.
action.
Okay, roll to hit.
I got a 14. Sorry, I lied, a 15.
That will hit.
For 3 smashing, crush, whatever it's called,
Bludgeoning.
bludgeoning. I like smashing.
All right.
Smashing damage.
Okay, Kadiak, it is your turn with the drunk goat on deck.
That's you, Drit.
Kadiak's gonna move up to be next to Artyom, and he's going to maul it with his maul for another nat 20.
Oh
Apparently,
boy.
the dice ball really likes me today.
Yeah.
So that will be 46 plus 4 plus the rage damage is 13 damage.
All right.
I thought you were saying like 46, like 4-6. Like, oh, jeez.
Okay, so it is still up and standing. Drith, it is your turn.
How hurt does it look?
Okay, so I am gonna.
It's mostly okay at this still. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Drith.
Okay, so I am going to run up to like the Ghost King and just ram it. Drunkenly.
Okay. Roll to hit.
Oh.
We're gonna fight him now.
So I got a 23. My other roll was a nat 20, so still disadvantage.
Okay. All right. Roll for damage.
I'm fighting with the dwarf. I'm just gonna smash the giant goat.
So that is 9 damage.
All right. Okay. It's now the turn of Piotr with Corvette on deck.
Okay.
I'm going to viciously mock it again as it's being mauled by my friends. And not anyway.
Okay. It succeeds.
It does, or I do. Sorry, that
It
just confused
does.
me.
Whenever I'm making a saving throw, I will always talk about the thing I'm making the saving throw for. It succeeds.
That makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna throw out some inspo bardically. Who has not received one?
How much more of that do you have?
I have 4 total. Oh wait.
Okay, so this is your last. This is your last. This is your no. This would be your last one. Because you gave one to Kadiak, one to Anya. You used one for your cutting words, so this would be your last one.
Yeah. Okay. Who has not received one from me?
Anyone who's not Kadiak or Anya, like I just said.
Oh. Artyom. Sorry, my brain's not working.
You're good.
Artyom.
Okay.
May your blade be true, even though your eyes are kind of something. I don't know what's going on with those, but you can't see? Question mark.
I don't have a blade, but okay.
Just, it's figurative. Just kill him.
All right. Okay. Corvid, it is your turn with Anya on deck.
I move up 1 so that I'm flanking with Kadiak, right?
Yep.
And take a swing, take a stab with my spear at this thing. So that's advantage, right? Just make sure
Correct.
flanking is advantage.
Yes.
Okay. Come on, do better this time. Better. 19 to hit.
All right. That will hit.
And 1d. Good thing I have a lot of pluses to add. 6, 7, plus 2 for Hexblade is 9, and then plus 4 for my Radiant Burn is 13 damage.
Okay. All right. It is still standing. It is now its turn. It is going to attack Corvid. And it's going to hit Corvid twice. 4.
Wait. What's the? I got low AC. I know.
It's like, do you your AC is lower than a 18, right?
Yes.
Significantly, right? Yeah, you got hit. You take
Yes. On both. Wow.
you take 13 slashing damage.
Oh! Someone kill this thing so I can heal off of it, please. Yeah, I get 9 hit points back after.
Oh wait. Oh, never mind. Too late.
All right. Okay, I'm good. I'm still at like half health. So, we're good.
Okay. It is now the turn of
The
Anya.
dwarf.
All
Wait,
right.
the dwarf king is it
Yo.
going?
Nope, Dwarf King.
What
Yep.
about the Ghost King?
The Ghost King is going to attack Drith.
And kill it.
And
I'm
get a
going
nat
to
and get a nat
use
20.
cutting
You got
words.
a nat 20, wouldn't even matter. You are out of Bardic Inspiration too, so you can't use cutting
Oh
words.
crap!
So
Sorry, bro.
that is
I
going
hope
to
you
be
Well,
You lose.
it's 20 points of slashing damage, Drith.
How many points do you have in your goat form?
Yeah, like how many
Okay.
hit points does a giant goat have?
So Drith, yeah. So Drith immediately like gets slashed out of giant goat form and then takes some damage.
All right. Okay, now it is Anya's turn.
how screwed are we gonna be?
Okay. All right. I'm going to take out this last one because that's what I do. 2 attacks. Oh, one of those is another natural 20. The other one is a 17.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Roll your damage.
Okay. 15 slashing damage.
Tell me how you did it.
I mean, I think at this point I'm like, these things are not that hard to kill, so I just kind of like kick it in the chest and then I just stab it through the eye.
All
Kind
right.
of like knock it down and then put it out of its misery. And then I'm gonna come around behind like the Ghost King, and just kind of like, Wait.
Okay.
I heal for 9 points of HP on that. So, Anya, thank you. You're my savior. You're great.
I know.
All right. So, as the last creature falls, the Ghost King, kind of goes into a passive. It says, "Thank you,
Hang on.
heroes."
Real quick,
Yes.
I want to look at Drith and I want to cast command. And I want to command him to grovel. Target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or follow the command on its next turn. The spell has no effect if it's undead, if it doesn't understand the language, or if your command is directly harmful to it.
Hey, give us the saving throw, Drith. Since it would technically be Artyom's turn.
All right. So I got a 6.
Ha! So all you see is all of a sudden my face like appears massive in front of you, and you hear this loud booming voice that commands you to beg for forgiveness. And it's like the most terrifying thing you have ever seen.
Okay.
You're gonna
Okay,
have rhythm nightmares about you now.
Hey there, you glowing ghost king. I don't know what my problem is, and I clearly am the one with the problem here. Because listen, man, I feel so bad, and I just want you to, don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at my friends. Because I was in the wrong, and I was the goat. I threw up on your shoes a little bit, and I am really sorry about that. So please, just let us go, man. Just let us chill. And I don't know. I need a drink. Oh gosh.
You had like 8 drinks technically.
All right.
I have to imagine that like the blood alcohol content from like going from a big thing to like suddenly a human sized thing is intense.
Yeah.
So Drith is the very calm and just drunk. Good to know.
All right. So you so the ghost dwarf king looks at you and says, "Thank you for your aid, champions," and then disappears.
No.
And in his place, a golden key drops to the ground.
I pick it up.
Okay. It has dwarven runes on it, by the way.
I like hold it up in front of Kadiak. Like, what does this say?
Does it say Key of the King?
Yeah, it says Key of the King. Yeah. Cool. And with that, we're going to call it for the evening. And
I was gonna ask the Ghost King what the orange stone does.
He'll never get the chance. But all right. So
Is that just a very large skeleton?
I mean, it's a dwarf-sized skeleton.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, you're assuming that based upon the axes next to it, it's the skeleton of the dwarf king that you just helped. But yeah, so thanks for coming out, everybody. It's been fun. It's been good. We will be back in 2 weeks where they will continue their exploration of the mines, and hopefully they will be able to find some Aetherium. And so we will talk with you all later. Oh, just a few things. Remember, so go check out Lydia's, stay-at-home DM, her performance check that they do every Monday. It's approximately 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, so 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Then also go if you have questions about this session, go onto our Discord and drop them in the Rehash the Rolls channel, so you can ask the questions, and we will have Rehash the Rolls next Wednesday instead of this on Stay Home DM's channel for and you will you can hopefully get your questions answered there. Then my gaming will resume on Friday. I will be back with more Dead by Daylight on Friday, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And yeah, it's been good. So yeah, thanks for coming out. We will talk with you all later. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.